kept everyone waiting long enough. Let me show you how I made the viral croissant loaf. First, you'll go ahead and start with 145 grams of warm milk. I'm using oat milk. Next, we're going to add 35 grams of sugar and 8 grams of salt. Give that a good stir. You do not need a dough whisk. You can just use a regular fork. Once that's basically dissolved, you're going to add 1 egg. And go ahead and give that a good mix. The recipe I was using as inspiration did call for 4 grams of active dry yeast. I only use sourdough starter, so I then replaced that with 115 grams of our right bubbly active starter. Don't mind this. Give that a good mix. Next, we added 35 grams of softened butter. Give that a good mix. And lastly, we're going to go ahead and add 380 grams of bread flour. Once you have it mostly combined, give it a good knead until there are no dry spots. Next, we're going to let this rest on our counter for 1 hour covered. While our dough is resting, we're going to go ahead and create our butter block. You're going to need 1 stick of butter of your choice, and then you're going to take a long piece of parchment paper, about as long as my arm. I do not know how long this is. And you're going to fold it in half. You're going to take your stick of butter and place it in the middle of the base of your parchment paper. Fold your parchment paper back over, apply pressure, and just keep going over it until it's as long as I'd like it. I do make this about 12 inches long, I would say. This is what our block is currently looking like. I'm gonna go ahead and take my bench scraper and just clean up these lines. Here's our finished butter block. Put this on a cookie sheet, put it in our fridge or freezer to chill. After we've let our dough rest, it's time to create this wonderful masterpiece. Plop our dough down on our floured surface and just make sure you get both sides nicely floured because it is a stickier dough. Roll this out into a rectangle shape. I did not measure the first time I made this, and I'm just gonna eyeball it the second time. Look at this bubble. I'm not gonna bore you with rolling this out, so I'll just show you what it looks like after I'm done. Right, now that we have our dough thinly rolled into a rectangle, grab our butter block and place it nicely in the center. Then you're going to take these 2 outer parts and you are going to fold them into the center. When you fold both of them over, you need them to overlap just the slightest bit. Once we have this folded, you're just going to press down these outer edges. Give it a good roll. Fold just like we did that first time. Fold about 1/3 in, and the other 1/3, making sure not to overlap. So you have it folded kind of like a scroll. You're going to go ahead and fold it 1 more time, overlapping each other. Put this in the freezer for about a ½ hour, and we will finish up shaping this. Roll it out into a little bit of a smaller rectangle. Now that we have it rolled out to about this thick, we are going to cut this the short way into even strips. Now that our sections are cut, take some purified water with a brush. Don't completely soak these, but just give it a little brush of water on the top sides. We want them to be a little tacky so we can get them to stick together nicely. Show you the layers. Look at that. So you're just gonna start stacking them. Now that we have these nicely put together, flour both sides, and then we are going to roll this out into another rectangle. Once you get your dough rolled out beautifully, roll it up like you would a Swiss roll. This is what she is looking like. We are going to place it seam side down in our loaf pan. Once this fills out our pan and or doubles in size, you are going to want to stick it in the fridge or the freezer just for a little while. You are going to bake this at 375 for about 25 minutes, and after you're done baking, you are going to brush it nicely with some melted butter. I hope you guys enjoy, and I will be posting the results of this tomorrow.